Good morning, brothers. It is December 4th. And so, no, it's not. It's January 4th. Man, where did that come from? It's January 4th. And so we turn to the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, for God's daily dose of wisdom. And as I was reading through there, verse 24 jumped off the page, and it reads like this: Put away from you a deceitful mouth, and put devious speech far from you. Okay, that seems straightforward. Now, that word deceitful, that's just a flat out lie. That's just wrongfulness. That's just lying, period. But what's devious speech? When he says, put away from you a deceitful mouth, I can understand that. To deceive somebody is to lie to them. But what does it mean to put devious speech far from you? Now, as I was looking at other translations and so forth, it really didn't have any words like corrupt and things of that nature came out. But devious speech, when you dig down into it, it means twisted. It's not obvious, but it's the same word that's used that women would use to braid their hair. It would change the path of their hair, changing the path of our speech. It's just a little off. So not only is he warning us against lying, flat out lying, and sinful speech, but he's also warning us against speech that is just a little off track. Devious speech may not necessarily be obvious. Now contrast that with what we read in the book of Colossians. The Apostle Paul wrote to the church in Colossae, and he says this in chapter 4 of his letter to the Colossians in verse 6. It says, let your speech always be with grace, as though seasoned with salt, so that you will know how you should respond to each person. Salt is a purifier. It enhances the flavor. It brings out the uniqueness of the food that it's being placed upon. But it's also preservative. So when Paul says to let our speech always be with grace as though seasoned with salt, what he's saying is that our speech should be done in such a way that it is attractive, it is delicious, it is nutritious, so that we can respond to each person. Each person has a unique, the only thing I can think of is in my computer talk, he's got a unique interface. They've got a unique way of dealing with each person. And so if we allow our speech to always be with grace, grace is the undeserved merit or the undeserved favor. So if we are speaking in a way that is gracious to that person, undeserved merit, undeserved favor towards that person, you can imagine what that might look like. And seasoned with salt so that it is tasty and nutritious. That's how we should be responding. So here we have in Proverbs what we ought not to do. And here we have in Colossians of what we ought to do. It's a good word for today, because there's a lot of deceitfulness out there in the world. A lot of people, unfortunately, in very high and powerful places, they're trying to tell us things that are simply not true. And the Christian church should be decidedly different than that. Our speech should be truthful. Our speech should be graceful, gracious, and seasoned with salt so that it's attractive. And so how we will know we would respond to each person. God bless you, my brothers. I love each and every one of you. Go out and make a difference in someone's life today. God bless you.